I just don't want to feel like I'm so not satisfied with my life that I have to go on apps to satisfy urges, sexual urges. Like, why can't I have a sexual life that's healthy, that doesn't require me to engage in practices that make me feel shitty after? That's what I'm, that's exactly like, that's what I was thinking. Like, I feel like, and maybe that's me idealizing some people, but when I think about the people who got to have relationships in high school together or got to have normal relationships, they maybe were allowed to express their sexuality in a way that was healthy. So now they're not looking for that in places that are not healthy, right? They're like, I'm like, some people, they're not using any of those apps and they have a sex life that's nice and they're not feeling shitty after. Like, is that possible? And I really feel like I don't want me later on to continue to be on those apps because I always feel shitty after. I always feel like I'm not seeing the person for who they are. Like, when I'm showing up to work, I'm happy to come to work. I'm happy about the missions that I have at work. And then I'm meeting people and I'm appreciating people. I'm like, hi, how are you? Where are you from? What are your goals? Um, we're laughing together with certain people. Some others no, but like, that's healthy. Hopping on an app and being like, I want this type of person and other type of person. I don't really. It's so like selective and horrible to just like see people as just like this thing that can fill that void within you. So I'm wondering, like, how can I have a sexual life that's healthy that I get to be kind of proud of? Like, yes, this is how I'm living my sexuality. Yes, this is how I'm living my sexuality. And this fits me and this feels good. And I'm happy about it. And I can exchange about it and I can feel good about it. And I'm not feeling like I'm lacking anything. Like, how? I think the first step is to ask the question though. I feel like sometimes we are blaming, I feel like we're blaming ourselves so much. Like, I'm putting so much pressure on myself, I think, and even I'm putting pressure on the future version of myself. Like, don't you dare download grindr at 35. That's not cool. Well, who am I to judge my 35-year-old self? What would I want for that version of myself? I won't want that version of myself to have a healthy relationship with someone that, and it doesn't require you to be on apps and like, that's just not the vibes. But like, what if you're not in a relationship? How do you express that sexuality? Are you supposed to be a monk? That's what I'm like trying to figure out. And maybe I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Maybe this part of my journey of not being satisfied with my sexuality is now allowing me to ask myself, what do I want? To reassess. So maybe I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in my sexual journey. And that's the thing that sometimes we forget. You think that you're wrong for doing certain things. You think you're addicted to certain things. Maybe you're where you're meant to be for you to figure out what works and doesn't work for you, even though in those moments it feels shitty and it doesn't feel good and you feel confused and you're like, and you're not trusting yourself. Like, I'm in those moments realizing that I'm not keeping promises to myself because I understand that if I engage in sexual self-pleasure or apps, I know from experience, it's been 10 years, that every time after I feel shitty.